Hi, my name is Sheldon Livesay. I'm the ministry director for One Accord Ministry, and we have begun telling some God stories of how we got into struggles and how God has come and delivered us out of those. Some of them are comical and some of them are just practical, but let me tell you a very short story today. I thought it was amazing and still look back and see it that way. But I don't know if any of you have businesses or things and you get into those and there's areas that you just don't know anything about and you struggle through those. And if there's federal requirements on any of those things, you can be in trouble if you don't do them right. So accounting is one of those things for me. Oh, when we first started out and we just had a few $100s going through, that worked all right. But when we got a thrift store started, when we started having salaries involved, oh, we had a lot more paperwork and forms and things to file than we ever had before. And I didn't know how to do those things. I didn't know how to keep the records according to good accounting principles. And I always told someone, oh, wonder if I'm going to go to jail over this. Never doing anything wrong, but just not knowing sometimes how to do it right. Well, our family had a feed business. We made flour and cornmeal and we sold animal feeds. And for 8 years, the ministry of One Accord Ministry was just a volunteer effort for me. After we got it started, I still worked a full-time job. So a lady began coming in, and of course I'm working between customers always on something relating to the ministry, sending out newsletters to churches or whatever it was that I was doing. Family business, my dad didn't mind that I was doing that. I was working in the office with him. So this lady would come in and she'd see me working and we get into conversations and, oh yes, we've started a ministry over here in town. I work with our churches and we do this, da-da-da-da-da. And she said, well, I work as a CPA for a $30 million ministry in Knoxville, Tennessee, about 60 miles away. But she lives just inside of our county, across a mountain range, but she lives there. So she said, do you know how to do the accounting for your ministry? And I said, I've got no idea. In fact, I wonder sometimes if I'm going to get arrested and go to jail for some of the papers that I fill in and send because they don't seem right to me and I don't understand them. I don't know how to do them and I don't have anybody to help. And she said, let me volunteer with you. I'll get your books in order. I'll get them straightened out. I'll show you how to do them as time goes on. And so it went. And this lady's name was Nancy Rhodes. What a wonderful, sweet, gentle lady this was. And she was patient. I remember that because she not only taught me, but she taught my wife. And so the day-to-day things, we brought my wife in to help. My wife was able to do part of that book work. And then she was able on weekends to take what we gave her, or maybe the end of the month, and put it in a form that would be acceptable as we did our tax returns and those types of things, the audits that you have to do as a nonprofit. But I want you to know it's not an accident. We prayed that God would do something. We knew that we didn't have the skills to do that. We didn't know what to do. So we got down on our knees, me and my wife, and we prayed together. And I don't remember how many months it was, but God answered that prayer. And he brought this wonderful, sweet lady, Nancy Rhodes, who sometime later, she moved away. She had given this job to my wife for a while. And then someone came to us just a few months later asking if they could be the bookkeeper. They said, they've been through a business school and they figured they knew how to do books, and that lady has been able to carry us now 20 years. And I just never fail to look back and be grateful to God for the miracle that he performed. I mean, what's the chance of someone that does the books for a $30 million organization showing up at my doorstep asking me if they could volunteer and do our books for free? What a miracle that was. And that's the kind of miracle we see all the time here at One Accord Ministry because we're in Appalachia. And there's so many things that we're behind on and so many skills that aren't available here in Appalachia. But we look to God, we trust in God, and God answers and comes through for us. God bless you. Thank you for letting me share with you today. You have a great day.